So how's everybody doing? It's not gonna be your typical workshop, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just moved in to my dorm. Yeah, pretty cool. Just gonna share my slides real quick. All right. Let me know if at any point you can't hear me or anything, just jump in. Yeah, so we'll start in a minute. All right, let's start. So the power of individuals. All right. Oops. Okay, so who am I? My name is Aimie. Last name is Wipulakorn. I'm 18 years old. I'm an environmentalist. And 3 words to describe me is I'm very optimistic, ambitious, and passionate. So let's get into it. All right, environmental issues. Why do they exist? Does anybody want to jump in with an answer that you might think that comes to mind? Why does the environmental issues exist? Anybody? No? All right. So I'd say the best way to put it is same input, same output. To give an example, right, we're producing plastic, we're using it like once and throwing it away and all that stuff. So, obviously, unless we change or unless we stop supplying plastic to society, then I guess the problem will be no more. But one can only hope, right? All right, next, supply versus demand. We hear a lot of this because as environmentalists or climate activists, especially, there are, there's 2 sides to the sword, right? There is, the people manufacturing, single-use plastics or deforestation for agricultural purposes, for example. And, that's the supply bit, right? But the demand that comes from us, right, as society. And to talk more about that, it doesn't really matter what started this loop. The reason I say it's a loop is because let's say shampoo bottles, right? Those are actually counted as single-use plastics, simply because you use it once. And even though you use it for a long period of time, you still use it once, if that makes sense. It's really hard to reuse something so specific, if that makes sense. So now we're in this loop, right? We want to, let's say, I want to become more environmentally conscious, right? Let's say I want to start with, with shampoo, right? But if that product doesn't exist out there in the market, then, I need to wash my hair, right? So that's me creating demand for it as well as the people supplying it also adding to this loop. That makes sense. And then, obviously without joint efforts from both sides, the environment will always suffer. All right, next, climate change. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys all probably know a few few things about climate change, but just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. So number one, the full-on definition of climate change is basically long-term shift of the planet's weather patterns and average temperature. Obviously, we've probably all heard of the greenhouse effect. You know, how we release certain gas into the atmosphere, and then it basically warms up our planet because heat can escape our atmosphere, right? The third one, this is something I actually just recently learned, which is, I think is kind of cool, actually. So each ecosystem has an equilibrium. And when the equilibrium tips, a new equilibrium is formed. So if you look at Earth, right, there are many, many ecosystems on Earth, you know, like the ocean, forests, and others. And as the temperature increases, right, we see that as temperature increases, sea temperature increases, and that damages that marine ecosystem a lot, right? Regardless of how little that change may be, maybe it's 1 or 2 degrees, but that you know, obviously each species is adapted to a certain environment, right? So basically, if we hit a point where our existing equilibrium right now can't balance the disturbance, then obviously a new equilibrium is formed. This could be for the better or for the worse, but obviously I'm pretty sure we don't want to take our chances with that, right? Secondly, each ecosystem obviously will respond with either positive or negative feedback to counter the disturbance. I'm sure you can come up with a few examples of your own. So moving on. All right. So why are we talking about the power of individuals when I'm supposed to be talking about the environment? Here we go. So the challenge does not lie within us trying to understand environmental issues. It lies within the battles that we must face in order for us to believe in ourselves. Now I'm going to tell you why it's important to believe in yourselves. So first of all, feeling small. Do you guys feel small in a world like ours? Anyone want to jump in? Why do you feel like that? If you want to share.
Sometimes if others can do something and I can't.
Anybody else? No? All right. Obviously, you know, we live in a world with 7 billion other people, right? Just like us. Just wanted to highlight that, right? Okay, next. These are some reasons that I've come up with why we have to believe in our abilities. You know, as you just said, right? There are some things that we can do that others can't do. There are some things others can do that we can't do, right? But what's more important, okay, is to believe in your abilities. You know, having faith in yourself is the key to unlocking the full potential of your passion. Whether or not you found your passion, maybe you never will, and that's okay, right? But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, to believe in yourself, you can do wonders. You can do anything you put your mind to, right? Which is the third point. Moving on. To achieve your goals, you'll have to believe in yourself, right? If people in the past never believed in their theories, their calculations, you know, basically what they're thinking, right? We wouldn't have a lot of things that we do today. You know, to create something, especially here in this hackathon. Like, you guys are gonna have to come up with, things that probably has never been done before. And I urge you to, stick with it. It's worth it, trust me. Next, you're capable of whatever you put your mind to. For example, you're taking a test, exam week's coming up, and you gotta study, right? If you truly believe you can pass this test, or you truly believe that, I'm gonna get an A+, A star, right? Then you're gonna put your mind to it. You're gonna study your ass off, excuse my language. And, you're gonna get the results that you worked for. And that all comes from you just believing in yourself. Like, I'm sure we all, are aware, let me rephrase. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of all of this stuff before, but I just wanted to mention it once again. Lastly, if you won't believe in yourself, then who will, right? Moving on. So does it work? Does believing in yourself work in a world like ours? So here's a little case study that I put together for you guys. So May 9th, 2008, Greenpeace. If you haven't heard of Greenpeace, they're an organization. They're currently battling, you could call it, against big corporates to make them more eco-friendly and more environmentally conscious. So Greenpeace met with Unilever's executives. Then they launched a video called Dove Onslaught Tour. 2 weeks, Unilever received tens of thousands of protest emails, and obviously because of public pressure, they've reacted. And, Greenpeace being a small group back then, or not as popular as today, right? If they didn't believe that they could, do something about this, none of this would have happened. Unilever would be very, very different today, right? Okay. How do you find the courage to believe in yourself? Okay. You take a leap of faith. All right. So imagine you're going cliff diving or skydiving or, anything, any exhilarating activities. All right. The moment, let's just take cliff diving. The moment you feel like you have to jump, that is the best moment to jump. The reason being is because, let's say for me, I just count 1, 2, 3, and I get the courage to do, whatever I have to do. For example, meeting someone. Let's take that, all right? I just moved into my dorm. It's still freshers week, everything's new. I don't know anybody here. And obviously, I want to meet people. I want to, get to know who's in the same boat as me, right? And just saying hi to people is nerve-wracking. I don't know about you guys, but for me it is. And I'm gonna tell you this. Obviously, you don't have a lot of time span to talk to them, right? Maybe they're walking somewhere, who knows, right? I'll tell you a little story. Yesterday, I couldn't open the gate to get out of my my dorm. Basically, there's a gate to get out. It was stuck, and this person walked up behind me, and I just turned around and I just said, it won't budge. Something like that to me, it's a bit hard, but you gotta take that leap of faith, right? You never know who you're gonna meet. You never know what results you're gonna get. So the best time to jump or to do anything is the moment you realize that you have to do it. If that makes sense, right? Because if you don't do it then you're gonna keep repeating that scenario in your mind, like, oh, I'm gonna jump now. And if you don't do it, then you're never going to do it, right? If you don't do it today, who knows what you're going to do tomorrow, right? Cool on that. Okay. So on that topic, on that note, sorry, I created a project. I'm from Thailand, forgot to mention. And in my culture, it's very hard to believe in yourself. Let's say that. I realized I cared about the environment when I was 12. And I kid you not, I spent 4 years contemplating like, I can't do anything. I have to get through school. Even though it hurts me every time like I look out the window, it's horrible. And one day I just broke. And here we are. This is, all I had to do was believe in myself. But that is one of the hardest things that there is to do. To realize that you as an individual can do whatever you wish to do, right? So Mangrove Teens, we're a nonprofit organization aiming to plant 250,000 trees by June 5th, 2022. Started this project 3 months ago, and it's been going great, honestly. You really have to stick with it. Environmental issues, they seem impossible to deal with. They do. And you feel small, and it's a lot of like internal battles that you have to go through in order to really believe in yourself, right? So like I did 2 years ago, I broke again. I was like, I kept telling myself I had school, I had other things to do, sports, blah, blah, blah. And then, one day I just couldn't take it anymore because no one was doing anything about it. And it hurts. It really pissed me off. So you can say it was impulsive. I basically just got a bunch of people together with the help of people, right? And then here we are. So why are we called Mangrove Teens? Yeah, to tell you more about the project. We are a group of teenagers that plants mangrove trees. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of those trees. If you haven't, search them up. They're pretty cool. And anyways, we're not called Mangrove Teens because we're a group of teenagers planting trees. The idea that I wanted to communicate was that, how do you take care of the environment like a teenager, or in other words, the younger generation, because we care more. And I want to highlight one very important thing. Since we're younger and we're less exposed to reality, we have the ability to be more creative and innovative. We've heard of climate change for who knows how long now, right? And some people still don't care. To me, as an environmentalist, it's crazy, right? But you got to empathize with them a bit, right? We're still breathing. Everything's okay. We get heat waves every once in a while. We're still living. And then maybe that's probably why people don't think climate change exists. Right? But as people part of this organization, we are trying to communicate certain concepts, raise awareness for the environment in new ways. One very cool way that we've been using was that we were making environmental memes. They're very fun, very super creative, and reels or TikToks, just to raise awareness and have a bit of fun, I guess, right? So that's what, that's the core of this project. Moving on. So what's so special about this project? I know it's a bit biased coming from me because I am the founder, but what's so special is that this project is based in Bangkok, not Bangkok, Thailand. We have many mangrove forests hanging around the coastline. And I don't know your situation as a country, but I'm sure we've all seen, the disparity between the rich and poor, right? And obviously these trees are not free, but it's cool. We get it. I get it. They're trees. It's a product. Anyways, so, we have to raise money and also plant trees. That's two main things that we do, and, raise awareness, obviously. What's more important is that where does the money go, right? The money doesn't go to the plantation site, to the rangers taking care of the plantation site. It goes to the people who germinate the seeds. And these people, I kid you not, it hurts me every time I say this. These people are my age. I'm not sure how old you guys are, but as I said, I'm 18. These people are high schoolers, and obviously every place is different. There are many plantation sites, many people who germinate seeds, but there is, good to know, there is one place where basically high schoolers come, germinate seeds. They know, they're actually very genuine about what they do, and I it's inspiring, right? Regardless of how much money they get. You don't get a lot of people like that nowadays. So through fundraising, through planting trees, we're also supporting locals. And, I have no words for that. Like, for me, I take it upon myself to help wherever I can, regardless of what background I have. So yeah, but that is basically why this project is, I guess, a tad bit special from all the others. So what are we actually trying to do? So I said fundraise and plant trees. But I know I said the core before, but here's like the core of the project. We're here to provide opportunities for people, regardless of whether or not they come to our plantation or they support our fundraisers. It's okay. That's not our job. Our job is to provide that opportunity for them to take part in our journey as an organization, basically. So to sum it up, this is Mangrove Teens. Without believing in myself and believing in my team and entrusting them with responsibilities, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you guys right now, honestly. So how did I do it? To go more into it, obviously, I believed in myself, developed a strategy on how to solve problems. These are my secrets. So here's a little tip. If you ever have a problem, okay, this is how I go about it. You have point A and you have point B, okay? Point A is where you're at right now, okay? Let's say, for example, Mangrove Teens, our plantations didn't go so well. I'm sorry, if you hear a train, we're right next to a train station. Anyways, let's say the problem is the plantation didn't go so well, right? That is the reality right now. That's point A. What point B is what your goal is, right? Let's say, obviously, if the problem is the plantations didn't go well, then point B would be, we want the plantations to go well, right? And then all you gotta do is, build a bridge between point A and point B. If you can recognize all the factors in point A and point B, this will definitely make your life a lot easier. So just a little advice from me. I made my goals very explicit. I'm not going to say, oh, I want to change the world. What does that entail? Right. I worked with people who are as passionate as me, regardless of whether or not they have a environmental passion. I'm here to provide opportunities for people to showcase what they have and develop skills that they already have or skills to come with the project, right? Had to make some tough decisions, had to let go of some people. Things like that happens all the time. But obviously you got to be logical about it, right? And lastly, dedication and commitment. That's how I did it. So I want to end this with a quote. That is my all-time favorite quote. Okay, it's, to believe in the impossible makes it possible. Right. So thank you very much. I guess if you have any questions, let me know. You joined a bit late. Yes.
Till now, there is no doubt.
Awesome. No problem. All right. Well, I hope this was helpful. I think the only key takeaway you asked me is believe in yourself. Know that you're capable of a lot of things. Okay. All right. Well, have a nice rest of your days wherever you guys are. And if you want to contact me, you can just search up Mangrove Teens in Instagram and shoot us a DM. All right.
I'll add the to Mangrove Teens Instagram on the Discord channel. So if anyone wants to contact her, it will be there.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Well, that's it.